Greetings, welcome to Shadowstar and to this Star Trek Online discussion video. I hope that you guys will join in with my practice here and be willing to comment below your good, bad and fix when it comes to Star Trek Online, because that is what this will be a discussion of today. Today we are talking about the current climate of Star Trek Online, Cryptic, Arc and Perfect World, in whichever relevance it bears. So primarily bashing at Cryptic right now. This video has come as a result of anger I have at Cryptic, I will admit, but I also can't just talk about the bad without talking about the good. Because Cryptic do a lot of things right, so respect to Cryptic on that part. Or should I say elements. With that being noted, I'm Captain Ri'shad, also known as the Renegade. Shall we begin? And begin we shall with one of the things that I absolutely love about Cryptic, but more accurately, love about their arts and development team. The people behind giving us the look and feel of Star Trek Online. Now, yes, people may call me out a little bit here, but of all present Star Trek franchises, have you noticed how Discovery and the JJ verse, and even Picard somewhat, aren't exactly faithful to the source? And when I say source, I mean what has come before. I don't mean TOS. I mean to TOS, TNG, Voyager, DS9, the animated series even. Showing some respect to them and remembering what they have pre-established. Biggest blighter, and is actually the biggest thing I really give a compliment to Cryptic for here, is the look of modern ships. Have you seen Discovery ships? I mean, yes, you can explain that away, but you can explain it into canon with a bit of fan canoning. But Cryptic make it so you don't have to. Good example, the Giorgio class. This ship is absolutely beautiful. It looks like what the Centaur should have been for the Dominion War. It looks really fitting as an upgrade to the Walker, and I'm sorry, but the Giorgio class looks beautifully and fits beautifully into TMP era aesthetic. Respect for that design. How about the TOS temporal ships they introduced at one point? Each one of these, though not great in aesthetic choices, still fit perfectly into the TMP era. Sorry, TMP era? The TOS era, get that right. None of them would feel out of place if thrown into TOS. None of them. Sure, people would be a bit like, oh, I don't like the way that deflector's attached, and couldn't this be a bit more faster in its design? But you know what? I'm just impressed that they were able to pull this off. The legendary Miranda is an absolutely brilliant example, though I'm pretty sure I've seen that somewhere before, so I don't know if that's 100% Cryptic on this one. It's amazing what Cryptic can do though, and that is something I absolutely adore and respect about them. They have pulled this stuff off really well. Even into modern Star Trek Online period, they are respectful and faithful to Starship designs, and are able to evolve them in such a way that they work really well. For example, now I can give you a line of ships. Let's go with TOS. What The Cadensis class, one of my favourite ships. We know that I like the Baran, right? It's my favourite STO ship for aesthetic look. The Cadensis is an interesting discovery ship. I do believe, though, STO did this, but did it correctly. Oh look, a variant TOS ship of similar design lineage that fits in the TOS period that Discovery is set in. Great job, Cryptic. And then you evolved it. And you became something so much better. Cryptic at its finest. I could be at this all day showing off Cryptic's and brilliant ability to evolve starship designs but stay faithful to the starship look. And I would never be done. This would be all I talk about in the video. So how about another positive? Star Trek is all about the worlds you go to, the places you see and you visit, experiencing strange new worlds and strange civilizations. Well, don't you get some stunning shots doing it? Some absolutely beautiful places to see. I have been able to fill folders with screenshots in this game because of these beautiful aesthetics you can get. Some beautiful locations. Too many, and I wish I actually had them all straight to hand, but unfortunately I keep ships on my computer and I can't find the USB pen with all the location shots. Otherwise I'd have over 250 location shots to show you guys, but I'll give you a few to go to. List them off for you right now. Travel to Vulcan, to New Romulus. Travel to rescue the Deferi freighters in a beautiful system that I can show you with the Vengeance class. Travel to a time conference where you get to see a beautiful view of a planet. Or you can travel to help the Lucari and see a blue star shimmering. When you cut the cord, the location of that mission is incredibly well thought out. It's a maze that explains itself to you, so even without any markers, you can figure out where to go. And you have some incredible space stations. Well thought out. Have we seen what STO space dock looks like now? Space dock is beautiful. The old space dock was great. The new one is beautiful. If anyone's wondering what the old one looked like though, go to K7. I think it's K7. It's that, or you can go to Drozana Station. That'll give you a rough idea what you could have had back then, except for without the blue flashing lights. Go to the Solinay Dyson Sphere. That's a beautiful place as well. Walking through the halls of the main command center, or just flying around, seeing all the pillars, the docks, storage yards. Star Trek Online is alive. It's breathing, and it is such a beautiful game because of that. When it comes down to things I like about Star Trek Online, visual is such a heavy part of it. You can't do it any better than what... I don't think Cryptic could have done it any better. I love how faithful they are to that. So maybe we can go into something where they're kind of negative, but at the same time, kind of positive. Because they're not just faithful to the visual aesthetic. They're faithful to the belief and the ideals in-game, at least. Not Cryptic themselves. Because although the majority of the missions are very JJ-verse, let's shoot first, ask questions later, blow that thing up, yeah, war! Which is not what Star Trek is about. How often do you see the Federation literally destroying ships for their answer? They disable and basically try and clear things up, force the enemy into retreat. They don't blow everyone up. Klingons do that. It makes sense for the Klingons. Do you know what? It wouldn't take much for Cryptic to change in missions to make it more established, better. You could easily make it so that every mission requires a few more puzzles to solve, and they don't have to be the numerical puzzles of that blasted satellite. I'm talking about you've got a mission, it's set up and triggered so that you start it, and your ship begins to suffer from power fluctuation errors. You've got to figure out why in the system you're having power fluctuation errors by exploring the system map you're in, using the scan to locate various areas that are of interest. Do some kind of radiation scan puzzle to unlock the check on that, each one being a little bit different. You get your answers from that, and then you have to go to your bridge and with the information you've gathered, input into a computer a solution that completes the mission. You don't have to make this a fundamental mission, but doing that can give you like, oh, basic reward. You've used some of your knowledge, it's made you use your brain a little bit more to figure out the puzzle. It's just something they could do. They don't have to be numerical, and they don't have to be go to this location, get this. I mean, I like the prime number puzzle you get on Nimbus. I think it's prime number puzzle. There's just so much they could do to gain that aspect. Oh, that was the fix. Talking about fixes early here. But no, there's one last thing I want to say about Cryptic that I really, really like about Star Trek Online and Cryptic here. Some of you are probably going to think I'm mad saying this, but this is my general experience with it. Has anyone else noticed that the support team are brilliant? They actually try to help you. Yeah, there's a negative coming up that kind of negates this a little bit, but directly with the support team, they try to help you. I was able to talk to higher technicians and basically back and forth with them when I was having trouble getting the game to boot because it just wouldn't boot. Ended up finding it was a problem. In my case, it was a problem with the Epic launcher. Not using the Epic launcher, the game would actually start. I now use Steam. I came to that solution with help from the Cryptic support team. And everyone I've ever spoken to in the Cryptic support team are very quick to help out, very quick to fix minor issues and problems, and even more severe ones, such as I have lost money before, and Cryptic have helped me fix this problem. Do you understand that Cryptic is, on a part, a very greedy company? To have the support team willing to help you with a financial loss that has happened within the game because of some glitch in the game? I was actually honestly expecting them to try and weasel out of that. The fact that I'd lost a huge amount of gain simply from an error that wasn't very clear. They helped me so quickly, technically they could have blamed it on me, and they still helped me out. I'm like, Cryptic, you absolutely stunning support team. I couldn't be more thankful to them for that. And I'm a little bit willing to say that they don't have a big support team. Because now we're going to get into the negatives. You ready for war? Because this is my anger at Cryptic. This is what's been pissing me off. So, I mentioned how Cryptic were faithful, right? Yeah. There are great elements of the Star Trek Online team that are very faithful to Star Trek, very much respecting of it. They respect the franchise. They respect the meaning and the purpose behind it. Not all of them, though. Because I'm pretty sure the higher-ups don't. I'm pretty sure a lot of the higher-ups couldn't give a damn about Star Trek. All they care about is the gold mine. And you can very, very easily see this practice in place. Let me give you a hint. How many ships have we had recently? How many of them have been Zen Store? Legendaries do not count. Why do legendaries not count? Because they're very expensive. Oh, except for the Miranda. Now that was a good exception. So we'll give them a fix on that one. At £80, that was a good exception. That was a reasonable price for what you were getting, I guess. What? I say £80. Yeah. That was on sale. Let's not look at the full price, shall we? Not the full price. At least they've learnt their lesson and not decided to call it a sale on release, because you can't have something on sale if it's not already been released at full price. But they wouldn't sell at full price, would it? Oh, it probably would. To the money pigs, the money sharks, the big ones they're aiming for. Yeah, of course it would. Yeah, Cryptic love the people that can splash hundreds of thousands at them. No, hundreds and thousands. But the majority of the player base cannot, and Cryptic are critically screwing them over. The majority of the player base gets screwed over on a regular basis by Cryptic because the new introductory pieces must be locked behind lockboxes. Must be locked behind promo boxes. Or has to go into being a legendary. You know what, I don't mind legendary. Legendaries are fine. They kind of make up for their cost with how much extra you get with them. Obviously, legendary works better than ships to the line. Because you can see they've stopped. Cryptic has kind of stopped the ships to the line thing. I didn't get very far, did it? But yeah, first big problem with Cryptic. The greed is getting the better of them. And it's damaging. Very much damaging the game. Because people are seeing this. Now, Star Trek Online used to be a game which I would very happily tell you is not a pay to win. You can become as powerful as the strongest player in the game, and you still can technically get to be as powerful as the strongest player in the game and not ever spend a single real life penny on the game. Nowadays, that takes a lot of time, more time than anyone reasonably has free, and I'm talking you're going to get one ship, one amazing ship up to an amazing level to do really well, and that is one. By the point in time you've got to where you're getting to, the meta's changed, the whole instigation of the game has changed, and there's new things you now need to try and somehow get your hands on, which is just going to take more time and never let you really get to the pinnacle. This again comes down to that whole lockbox promo ship thing. All the great stuff, all the really powerful and the almost meta stuff tends to get locked behind those, and therefore become very expensive elements of the game with incredibly low drop rates, incredibly high gambles or prices, should I say, to them. And let's think back here, because you might be thinking, well, this has always been Cryptic. No, it hasn't. The Dominion bundle, the Temple Agent bundle, the Legacy of Romulus bundle, all of them barely scathed over 100 and didn't even reach £200 in cost. And you'd have 12 ships in them sometimes. I can't remember what the best one was. It would definitely be the Temple one. That Temple one gave you, the life of me, tons of ships. The Delta expansion one with the intelligence ships, that was enough. Was it, if I remember that one right, you got 2 Romulan, 2 Klingon, 3 Federation, 4 Federation, 5 Federation ships with that one. That was 9 ships in one bundle, and that was not an expensive bundle. Considering the 10 ship legendary bundle was £300. Hello? The Vanguard pack, the Dominion Vanguard pack was another one that was bleedingly good, very powerful. It gave you 3 Cardassian ships, 4 Dominion ships, if I recall right. That was a really good bundle and a set, and that didn't cost a lot. With all the other extra bonuses you got with it, it really didn't cost a lot. It was worthwhile. So why has Cryptic now gone to this insane level where it's got to always be expensive to get it? Bearing in mind that when we talk about the gambles, we are talking about, on an average, you're gambling over £100 and possibly below 300. Not always though, because I know someone who spent £500 trying to get one ship because they were really desperate. They really liked the ship and really wanted it. Might have been me. Might have ended up calling the ship the USS Nemesis. Might be the Discovery Connie. That was a lot of money to get one ship. And I actually regret it. I love the ship. Absolutely love it, but I also regret it. Because I fed the fuel. I fed the engine that keeps greeding for more. Away from that, let's talk about something else that's not so great. Cryptic, you expect us to spend money on you, yeah? You want us to spend all this money. Well, make it worth spending that money, would you? You have a bug, for an example here, a bug that's been in this game since I started playing. I started playing when you first released the Odyssey class. This bug is actually older than that and has gone unfixed because thankfully the support team gave me the quick fix, but that quick fix has to be done every single time with every single ship. Anyone want to say keybind bug? Oh, wait, no, that bug actually has evolved. It's got worse. It's pulled a virus and mutated. Because now it isn't just the keybinds. It's all your trait slots as well. All of them get broken now. None of them work properly. They will very happily reset themselves to what another ship has, or even better, just wipe everything out of them altogether. Just gone. You come on one day and wonder why you're doing nowhere near what you should be doing, and it's all because you haven't checked your traits are slotted in. Cryptic, what are you doing? Because that's not the only bug. When you released the Romulan expansion, Legacy of Romulus, we got the Ilachi missions. There isn't a single Ilachi mission that isn't bugged. My personal favourite one is when you're fighting that very nasty commander on an Ilachi space station near the end, and if you happen to have your entire team downed, because you're as weak as me when it comes to ground, and you end up having to respawn, that commander always manages to run to the door and get locked in the door. So as you re-enter the room, you can no longer kill the commander because he's in the wall, unable to be killed from either side. That bug's still in the game too. I could go on. I could literally keep this going on forever. There are too many bugs that are going unaddressed, unfixed, and Cryptic is not willing to do them. Why? Because Cryptic is too busy taking team away from Star Trek Online for other projects. Other projects that may flop. Other projects that are now why Cryptic's trying so hard to grab the money back with Star Trek Online. Because they're trying to make up for what the other one didn't quite do. You can kind of see this practice is happening. And I'm sorry, but when it becomes visibly happening, you've got a problem, Cryptic. Cryptic, put the team into the game to fix it. If you give the game the team it needs, it's going to start making people happy, and people are going to start spending the money you want us to spend on it. It's the same as certain other fixes I could talk about, but we're nearly into the fixing part. Yeah. My top 5 things to do to fix it. Okay. One other hate. One other hate. There is so much priority in the game towards set areas that it's kind of a shame to people who take a different approach or a different ideal. To give you an example of what I'm talking about here, we'll talk about a different game right now, Fortnite. I used to play it with a friend, and literally, I only ever played it with a friend because it's not my kind of game, it's not one I generally like. Because I'm the kind of person that is quiet, stealthy, and likes to do things in a subtle approach. Fortnite ain't that, right? Now, you can still take that approach in Fortnite, and I used to. Until they introduced this bounty hunter system thing that put me off the game altogether. Because it meant I couldn't play it in my style. I haven't touched the game since. Even though my friend's still playing it, still asking me to come back to it, I haven't touched the game since, and that is because of that. So what is Cryptic doing that could cause the same thing? DPS, 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 DP... Really DPS focused, isn't it? It's bleedingly so. Almost that no matter what role you're running in the game, you need DPS potential now. You can't be a hill boat because you're going to get penalised when you're doing TFOs. You can't be purely control and literally get your control through the roof because you still have to worry about the damage output that you're doing. It would be good to see Cryptic give some little fault to the fact that there are other play styles, there are other approaches. It would be really nice to see Cryptic realise that there are people that don't want to just be beaming down to a planet's surface to blow up a few enemies, to beaming up to the ship to blow up a few enemies and rinse and repeat for every damn mission. Let's get some missions on our bridges, on our own ships. We have these ships, these are our beautiful ships. Where's the internal mission on our own ship? Going around it, there's not many of them. A little bit more love to that. Give the ships a secondary purpose. give more purpose to the crews. And, well, we're going to go now into fixes, but also some ideas. Now, before I go into the actual fixes themselves, I'm just going to say a couple of ideas that I would love to see Cryptic introduce. These aren't things to fix problems in the game. They are literally here, well, to add something to the game, to give something more for the player base and that. Some of them very simple, some of them not so much. First one, number one. So we have our lovely little slot of stuff. It's very nice, isn't it? Cosmetically speaking, I'm pretty sure everyone makes use of the cosmetic slots you have when setting up your ship to change the aesthetics of your shield vanity at least, if not your engines and deflector. Cryptic, how did you forget weapons? Seriously, you have so many different cosmetic looks for weapons, it's unreal. Let's change this up. So, we have people in the game that love certain colors or love certain looks. But if you want to go for a brilliant endgame build, you end up with either a rainbow build fashion in some sense. You may have the same energy type, but loads of different colorations firing. Or you're doing all your torps. And there are those of us that still love the space Barbie part of things, that really want to go for the aesthetic feel. So maybe they want to have a TOS ship, build it to be as strong as it could possibly be, but TOS weapons aren't going to get them there. The TOS themed phasers won't do that for their TOS colony. I mean, they're going to be good, but they're not epic. So how about a vanity slot for weapons that let you put in a TOS phaser beam, or TOS phaser turret, or TOS phaser anything, minus the torpedo, I'll get there in a second. And suddenly all the beams or the cannons on the ship will take on the aesthetic look of the TOS phaser counterpart. So you have your energy weapon slot, which will basically make all your energy weapons take on the same appearance, of that style at least. It doesn't mean you're firing cannons and they look like beams. It just means that, say you have regular Federation phaser cannons on, but you put an Andorian phaser beam, you're now firing what looks like Andorian phaser cannons. Can you imagine doing that? Just putting a Polaron weapon in, because you love the purple Polaron aesthetic, your little jelly bean, but you're firing spiral wave disruptors. Polaron looking spiral wave disruptors. I would love that. That would be my new flying meta. I'd do that for everything. You'd very quickly notice my entire build changes drastically overnight. But yeah. Come on, Cryptic. Give us the vanity weapon slot. With the energy one, you want a kinetic one as well. So you can be firing... Let's say you're firing normal quantums, but you want it to look like the trilithium laced quantum. Sorry, trilithium laced tricobalt. There you go. You're now firing weapons that look like that. Perfect. Come on, Cryptic, you can do this. You've done it with the other vanity stuff. Please give us this one at the minimum. We have a brilliant faction in the game called the Dominion. Adore it. Really do. But it would be really, really nice if we could actually have a few more races other than Jem'Hadar and Vanguard Jem'Hadar Cryptic. Please, I'm begging you here. At least give us alien, if not go cyborg. And actually, give that for all the races. Romulan cyborg, Federation cyborg or human cyborg, Klingon cyborg. You can give yourself kind of a cybernetic look if you wanted to, but it would be really... I think it's just something extra they could do. And you can just do it so that they can make it so you got a robotic arm, so to speak. That looks like a normal arm, but you just look metal plates and that. Little cybernetic attachments. You've done similar with the Borg already, but let's do a more clean version than being Borg. We know cyborgs existed within Starfleet, always has. And there's always been little elements of that idea there. So it'd be nice to see the Dominion get alien, the Dominion get Vorta, and the Dominion, the Klingons, any Federation faction, hello, and and the Romulans get cyborg. From that, here we go again. There's one final thing I would really love to see added to the game. You ready for this? A rogue or independent faction. Now, this thought was in my head because, well, I've always wanted the idea of flying certain ships of one species with another culture. I always thought it was kind of cool when Romulans started being able to fly their allied faction ships. And then we got this unlock that allowed the Federation to fly Klingon ships and the Klingons to fly Federation ships. And it's like kind of made my original thought pointless now. It no longer really has a place. But the concept in my head is still there. So maybe the one benefit it would have had of being able to fly any ship from any faction, as well as its own unique counterparts, is gone. I still think having an independent or a rogue faction, similar like space pirates and mercenaries, would still be a pretty cool idea to add into the game. And you can make it so that they can do any of the missions and any of the storylines, but they basically get a modified version of the mission, and they don't quite get the same rewards. Essentially a hard mode, so to speak, without changing the difficulty slider. Now, there was something else I was going to mention, something I would find nice to be added to the game. Well, I forgot it. I'd only just thought about it, so it's not even on my notes here. Well, let's go into the fixes. Now, I kind of covered a fix already, and it's going to be funny because if Cryptic do watch this video, they are definitely maybe going to recognize the comment. But hey, 5 major things to fix, because these are the things that create the anger in me. And when I say fix, I'm also kind of offering a solution to the fix here, or an argument in some manner that is going to sort of justify the problem that's in place. So first of all, number 1, I've actually typed it, insert profanity. Stop with the super low 0.4% drop rate, lockbox and promo profanity. Or at least make them worth the profanity gamble. Because let's be utterly frank, it's a little bit stupid at this point. There's way too much now getting locked behind an incessive gamble which many players have tested to find that it's around the 0.4% drop rate mark. Not Cryptic's apparent 1%. Yeah. 1 in 100 drop. Okay. No, they do not. You gotta make it worth the gamble. Now, there are ways you could do this. And I am going to mention a major way to make it worth the massive gamble in point 3. So I'll get there in a second. But for the love of mercy, from now on, anything that goes into that kind of place has to be a lot better than it has been. A lot. Legendary ships get a pass, but only because they come with all previous versions, looks, consoles, traits, and very often are actually superior to the original counterpart, at least at a fleet level. Point 2. Zen Store, please. As the Zen Store is way more affordable and accessible and reasonable due to it being an account-wide unlock every time. The Zen Store is just far more of a fixed fair price that makes the content you require from the Zen Store actually worth getting, with one exception. And it's funny that the con artist, the rip-off artist, is the name used for it. Mud's Market. When you add things in the Mud's Market, please recognise the age of these items, the usefulness of them in the game, and recognise that they might not be worth the excessive cost. Yes, you are making these lockbox and promo items now. Oh, lockbox, promo and lobby items now account-wide unlocked when you buy them from Mud's Market. But the price to achieve an account-wide unlock on these items is disgusting. Really disgusting. You'd be better off at doing them individually, and also recognizing that not every player is in literal gold mined. We haven't got lots of money to spare, especially in current climates and in certain places of the world like the UK, where the majority of people actually live in a poverty state despite working full time. Cryptic, let's be a bit more reasonable here. Zen Store is a great option, and you don't need a massive bundle every time. On that same note, kind of an extra point to be made here, which is going to combine 1 and 2 together now. It doesn't have to be in a bundle to sell. Now, I got really annoyed when someone I actually respect actually said in a 10 forward stream that it won't sell outside of a bundle. Are you joking me? You're saying that, you know what, most people you're probably saying that to don't work in retail, but hey, that's kind of my specialization. It's my career path. I work in that area. I specialize in climbing the ladder in that area. I'm going to tell you right now that grouping things in a massive bundle to get it to sell really can be a bad practice. Why? Because when you've got 10 legendary items but people only want 3 of them, you've now made 3 items cost a lot more because they're not interested in the other 7. So the price, so gaining the other 7 does not come into what they're thinking about when looking at the price. Then looking at the 3 they want, looking at the price and saying, is it worth it? £100 per ship, is it worth it? For a ship that well, its fleet counterpart is 3,000 Zen plus the fleet module. So £20, £25 in cost, but you want people now to spend £100 for a ship. Like, hang on, let's put 10 ships into a massive bundle. Oh, yes, that makes it more fair. They're paying about £30 for the ship now. Oh, hang on a second. No, they're not. Like I said before, they don't want all of the ships. They're back to the £100. See the issue with your bundling. Whenever you release a bundle, please remember to release them individually as well. You'll find that they will sell individually. In fact, even if it costs a bit more for the player to get them individually than the full bundle, what you're actually going to trigger off is a side effect. People are going to look at, now if I bought these ships individually, it's going to cost me this much. And it's only this little bit more to actually buy the full bundle. Or I might as well buy the full bundle then. Oh, that's how you make the bundle sell. And you're also getting the benefit of, I'm really not interested in that many ships, but I do want those ships. At least I don't have to waste money now. I can get those ships and be happy with what I've got. And they will sell. Congratulations. Point 3. It's about time that expensive things in the game were made account unlocked by standard. Because you know what? I'll give you credit. You do some really nice things. You give us some free ships once in a while. And these ships are often decent. Sometimes they're great. The Ryzen weather control vessel, for example. Sometimes they're kind of on the lower end. One of my favourite ships, the Vorgon carrier. Why? I like that ship though. But the things you do free seldom make up for what I have previously stated in the other two areas. Especially point 1. It doesn't make up for that, because that's just too much of a greed thing. That doing the free thing is no longer making up for it. You're just barely pulling even, if that. So, how do we fix this? Well, you've done something really good recently, so I'm going to use this as kind of an example. You've updated Terran ship looks, and you're actually going to give us the Terran ship looks for free from what I've read. So, okay, wow, Cryptic, that was really good on your part. I am a bit speechless on that one, and thank you, really, thank you. I mean, you've kind of exploded the Miranda cosmetically even more, which is epic. I'm gonna love that. And you've actually seriously been nice to the player base. You've actually been Starfleet. Thank you. But here is point 3's fix for you. Something to fix things. This actually fixes point 1. Make all lobby, lockbox, and promo ships account unlocked. If you do this, if you make it so that the player acquires the ship from the gamble once, they unlock the ship in the box, they select the ship, and once they select, say, the Atlas prototype Dreadnought, that ship suddenly goes, and there you go. He can go to a reclaimed badge in any of these other captains and reclaim that very ship for those other captains for the account-wide unlock. That was a promo ship. That was a promo ship that probably cost the player 1.5 billion on the exchange to get, or anywhere between 150 to 300 pounds gambling to get it. But now we can use it on all of these captains that are able to use that specific type. That just made it fair. In my books, that just made the gamble fair. That made it, that called even. That brought it even. I wouldn't mind, I don't mind a high gamble when it breaks even that well. The problem you've got with the Lockbox Lobby promo is the fact that it's only one captain that can use that ship. Which means once you've made the massive expense, if you really like the ship, you can't use it on another captain. You have to acquire it again, and that's going to be another large expense to that player. That is not fair on the player. So I can't wide unlock it. Or the other fix is the average gamble must be broken. Must be preset. So, how do you fix that part? Here we go. I mean, technically, I don't know if you want to consider this another part, but I'm not going to. But you can fix it by increasing the drop rate massively. And I'm not talking like going to an incredible level. I'm just talking about being honest and making it like 1% or 1.5. Guarantee, or add a guarantee that if a player spends so much, like if a guarantee opens this many boxes, the ship will drop. Guarantee, give a guarantee point that that ship is going to drop. So the players, so basically the gamble gets broken. It's not a, reduce the risk to the player. Now, increasing the drop rate by 3 times is what I would say, personally. 3 times the average drop rate at the moment, you're going to put it at least 1%. You want to be at between 1% and 2% drop rate. 2% might be a bit high. I mean, let's put a gamble on it. But just bring it up, please. Make it so that players... Make it more affordable to the player base that is presently being insulted by the sheer gold grabbing of the higher up accountancy of Cryptic. Fix that problem. Now for a couple of minor ones. The last 2 are minor. One of these I've kind of already said. Number 4, you're flooding the game at the moment with ships. Literally flooding. Calm down a little bit, please. We love those ships, we really do, but calm down, okay? There's enough. Stop flooding the ships and stop with like incredible levels of content over and over and over. You're bringing us new content that is buggy and broken without fixing the old. So at the moment, let's try calming down on sort of all the missions and the random content and the ships, and let's do some other content that is lesser seen. So if you want to do new missions, like I said, give us some bridge missions, give us some ship missions. That's our, sorry, onboard ship missions to figure out and solve problems, puzzles, maybe things that give you a new level of growth. So like if you do onboard ship missions, you gain this new kind of specialization similar to your endeavors that will help the ship perform better and help the crew perform better. Hell, you could even bring back the crew stat. That'd be a nice one. Give us the crew stat back. Have it affected so that the better you've improved your onboard bridge abilities, sorry, your onboard ship missions, the better your crew performs and thusly your crew survives better. No injured crew. And you know what, while you're at that, give us some new bridges, would you? Every once in a while, it's very nice to have a new bridge. You're giving us some nice ones, but La Serena's bridge, for one. The Romulans don't have any unique bridges for them. The Dominion don't have any special bridges beyond their only bridge. A little bit of thought into those guys would be greatly appreciated. A little bit of affection for them. Okay, 5. Final out. I've actually already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Like I said, you've got bugs that need fixing. So take the time and provide the team. Give the game what it needs to fix the problems that have been plaguing it for years. So that when a new player comes along, we can turn around and go, yeah, this is a great game. It's not buggy. It's great. You're going to love it. The community's brilliant. Because STO does have a lovely community. The team behind it are brilliant. The support team definitely are. I'm not sure about certain gold diggers, but the support team is. And just let the game thrive. You have something great here, Cryptic. You have an incredible game that has survived 11 years, nearly 12, and is still got potential for growth, still got the power of growth, still got life in it. That is really hard to say for a game of its age. You want to bring in new people? Give us something good to say about you. But no, we'll wrap up here. Guys, I'm hoping to see your comments below. Same form factor as me, if you can, but you don't have to. What's good? What's bad? How do we fix? Cryptic, I'm sorry for being hard on you. Someone's got to be. Because we know you are better than this. We know you are an incredible company with incredible people behind you. Don't let your gold digging higher ups ruin it. Thank you, Cryptic, for Star Trek Online. I will say that. Thank you so much for this game. It is appreciated what you do. Until next time, to everyone, thank you for watching to the very end of this long video, be it rant as it may. And thank you to my patrons, my donors, my Twitch subscribers, and my YouTube members for helping me to bring content to you guys from this game. You make it possible. I hope everyone stays safe. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys next time. Until then, live long and prosper, my friends. Ciao for now.